In this video, I'm going to show you how to build beautiful testimonial carousels using custom post types and a page builder loop template. I say a page builder loop template because whether you're using Elementor, Breakdance, all of them bring in dynamic content and most of them now have loop templates. So you are able to apply this use of custom post types to any drag and drop page builder that you might use. So let's have a look at what we would build. Now this is a testimonial carousel, so you scroll down the page and you're greeted by this, and it rotates independently as they do depending on your settings. And the good thing about this is that often you might have to go and find a widget such as a testimonial carousel widget and try and bend it to your will. We don't need to do that because this can look like anything we imagine in a loop template, and obviously you can design that around your own needs. Now to evidence that, we can implement a testimonial carousel in different ways. So I'm pulling from the same data here, which is all this list of demo testimonials, but I can make it more of this is just a demo site. I can make it more of a just headlines and star ratings little widget that's, sits discreetly at the bottom of a page. We're communicating to our website users the most important information, and it's just there if they want to use it. Another implementation is even on the heroes section. I've done this on a few sites for clients where it's just sort of very discreet in the heroes section down here. And obviously it's just ticking over with the headlines, oh my god, my hair looks fantastic, and a few star ratings, and that's everything you need it to do. Just to show you a few other implementations, this is another project I'm working on at the moment where I'm using custom post types to store the testimonials, and then obviously I can template that in a way that suits the project. The possibilities are endless there. In this one, using advanced custom fields, I have an additional image, and so that's good. That could be something like an image of the person or a logo for a kitchen range. Now with testimonials, you might also want to use something like a little logo to say where the review came from. So it's a really good idea when you are putting a website together to handpick testimonials. Don't just have an API bringing in all of your Google reviews. Take 8 to 10 perfect testimonials, all 5-star, and put them on your website in strategic locations. And if you're doing that with this, you are able to maybe put the logo, so Google here or Trustpilot. I think you have to pay for the use of the Trustpilot, but you could indicate where the review actually came in. Another implementation is on this site. This is actually a testimonials page. I don't personally think that testimonial pages are always so fantastic. You don't need them so much, but this is a good page to have. And so if we you can just scroll down and people can get lost in your reviews, much like myself on Amazon. I will just show you on this site, we do have a testimonial demo page on this as well. And again, this is just my tutorial site, but you see here that we have a bunch of testimonials, and you can filter them using Elementor's taxonomy filter. And again, you're just able to make a template that suits that page, and people can look for the reviews that suit them. Okay, so that is what we are doing. I've just realized that my face might have been covering up the little testimonial ticker on the hero section. There we are. Okay, so just nice and discreet. All these people seem to have happy customers. Whoop whoop. So what I'm going to take you through on this quite comprehensive video, so it is a bit longer, is the actual install of the custom post type. I will show you how to set up a custom post type, and then we'll actually template it out and implement it in a few different ways on the page. So while this is a longer video, I will timestamp in the bottom, and you might want to check out a video of mine which explains some of the benefits of using custom post types in your CMS, or more specifically in WordPress. Because there are tons of benefits, all the way from actual content management right through to templating and right through to huge SEO advantage. So if you want to learn about that, check out that video. It will be somewhere around here, as they always are. Okay, so let's pop along to our WordPress dashboard, and the first thing we need to do is install a plugin that you can use to create a custom post type. Now, you used to have to put that into your functions PHP and have all manner of little bits of fun with fields and stuff, but now there's a plugin to do it, or there has been for quite a while. If you actually type in custom post type, you will see that we have custom post type UI spring up. Now, that's the one I used to use, and then I used to use advanced custom fields to add custom fields to this post type, much as I would use that to add extra fields to posts or pages or products and whatever. But now ACF actually does do all of the heavy lifting regarding with post types anyway. So as you can see, I've got it installed and active. So you would just need to do that. And then advanced custom fields not only takes care of the custom fields for you, but you can use it to create your post type and the taxonomies related to them. So once you've got that installed, hop along down to ACF at the bottom, and you can see we've got the field groups where we would create custom fields for any of our post types. And then we actually have post types here. So I'm going to click that one. Now, obviously, we're in this video going to go all the way from creating a post type to templating loop templates and displaying carousels and grids on the front end of our site. So there's a lot to do, and I'm going to be skipping through quite quickly, but we're going to make sure that we hit on all of the main points and obviously rewatch. Okay, so first thing we need to do, post types add new. Now, you can call this customer reviews or reviews. Shall I call it reviews? I'm going to call it testimonials because I haven't done that before on this site. Now, taxonomies, obviously, you can create a taxonomy, and if we select on it, we could select taxonomies that already exist here. I think it's best to keep them sort of separate unless you want to be very intentional with a cross-reference taxonomy. My preference is to create something like testimonials categories, and then that's something very separate with which I can filter on the front end. That's my preference. Unfortunately, we can't create it here, so we have to create and link our taxonomy in a moment. Now, hierarchical. Do we want the post type to behave like pages, where you can have parent-child pages, or do we want it to not behave like that? And it might be then linked up with taxonomies like categories or tags. Now, for something like testimonials, I don't want it to be behaving like pages. I'd like to link it with something like categories, possibly even tags, depending later on. So I'm going to leave that unchecked. Popping down to advanced configuration, I've never actually tested whether if I leave that unchecked, whether I can add custom fields. I'm assuming that's the case. So always check that. The rest of it you don't really need. I'm quite happy with all of this. Now, popping along to labels, and you can see this is how it will sort of appear in your WordPress dashboard for the most part. So I'm quite happy with that as standard. I've never had to play with that. Popping along to visibility, the only thing you might want to quickly do is click on here, and you'll be able to get one of these and change the dash icon according to what you'd like. But I'm just going to leave it as it is, but you can explore and make up a nice little icon to go with your custom post type. But for the most part, all of that is really quite fine. So we're just going to click on Save Changes. And like that, we suddenly have a custom post type. So we can see it up here. We've got testimonials, and we have a list. We can go to the list of all testimonials or add a new one. Before we do that, let's create a taxonomy to go with it. Okay, so I'm just going to click on that one. If you wanted actually to go to that manually, you would go down to ACF and click on taxonomies. In fact, let's do that just so you can see. And we have one taxonomy already for a different custom post type that I have, and click on add new. Okay, so I'm just going to call this testimonial categories. Oop. Okay, cool. Testimonial category. Yeah, cool. And post types, I want to link this to, you've guessed it, testimonials. Okay, hierarchical. Do I want this to be like a category or like a tag? I'm going to opt for it to be a category. And again, advanced configuration, have a little look into all of this. You generally don't need to. And I'm just going to leave it there and we'll move on. So save changes. We now have a custom post type and it has a taxonomy. What we now want to do is add some custom fields. So a page post type would have its own sort of fields. A post, like a blog post, that would have its own sort of fields. Like for example, it has an excerpt in there. Products obviously would have the price fields, sale price fields, and short, long description, all of those. And we need to assign some fields that would apply to our custom post type. Now, it will have a title and a featured image out of the box, but we want to actually add a field group with fields appropriate to the custom post type. So pop along down to ACF. You could click that, but just to show you, click on field groups. And we want to add a new field group. So click on that one. And wonderful. Okay, so we're going to call this testimonial fields. Now we'll do. Now, what sort of fields do we want in a testimonial? So first of all, we would like a testimonial heading. I think that's a really good one to have. We can use the title, and that's not a bad thing to do for the heading. But I'm going to go with the test heading. Yeah, test heading. I'll use abbreviations for brevity. And I should show you that we have lots of different field types that we can use. So for the most part, you're going to use text for just sort of a one line or a title or a name. Text area doesn't have editing in there, so you can't really have sort of line breaks. Number and range are sort of quite useful, and URL is really useful as well when you're bringing that into a template so that you can dynamically give a link to a button, such as a booking button. I'll show you how to use that when I'll do another video on custom post types to create a services custom post type. The other one that you might want to use quite often is a what you see, what you get editor, which means that you can actually put paragraphs into your into your field. Okay, but for just a heading, we are happy with text. Then we need another one. This is going to be the actual review. So we would want that to be what you see, what you get editor. That's fine. And I should show you that we have these other little tabs here. So presentation, this is what would appear in the edit page. So, you know, type your review here. And yeah, experiment with all of these. It's a little bit of fun. Okay. What other fields do we need? We need the reviewer name. That's good. Okay. For another testimonial or customer review for on a company, for example, you might want to have a reviewer company or reviewer location. We don't need that on this wedding site, and we'll stay in keeping with that. But what we would want is the rating. Now, that is not a text field, that is a number field. So just click on that. And if we want to further sort of define this, we can have anything between 0 and 5. And presentation, again, you can have a play with that. Step size would be 1. Okay. At the moment, I think that's everything. If one magically appears later on, it's because I realized I forgot it. So the test headings, the reviewer name, I'll call that customer name. Okay, test rating. I think that's all we need. The actual review, the rating, customer name, and the heading. Okay, I'm happy with that. Last thing we want to quickly do is assign this field group to our testimonials. That's all done. We've got a title. Let's save changes on that one. Okay, that's wonderful. Now, just the last thing that we need to do in the setup of all of this is pop along to Elementor and settings and just let it know that testimonials are a post type that we want Elementor to be able to edit, and just save changes on that. So what we now have is a custom post type. It's for testimonials. We can add those, and we can also add categories. Now, what I'm going to do is make up some categories for this. Now, we don't really need to do that, but I just want to show you that it's going to behave just the same as blog posts. So if we pop along here, I'm going to call this testimonials. Yep, that will do. And then we want hair testimonials. It's throwing up lots of suggestions to me. It's almost like I've done this before. And testimonials. So we want that to be a parent category, and add that. Cool. Happy days. Right. So we've got a category structure for our custom post type. That's pretty cool, isn't it? So now if we're popping along to our testimonials, we have none listed. So I'm going to have to do a magic click of my fingers and add some demo content, and then we can get on with templating. Okay, so with 7 testimonials in place, it's time to add them onto our page. Now, we're going to do this by using loop templates, and if you've not used them before, you can apply a loop template to something like a post grid, or to something really funky, which is a carousel or sort of a slideshow. Now, once you've got testimonials or information or content in a custom post type, you can pull it into any of those. One of the disadvantages of using something like a testimonials widget, for example, from say Essential Add-ons for Elementor has a great one. One, you're limited to the styling that it offers, and we often have to try and bend those widgets to our will in order to get the result we want, but they're often quite limited. The other problem is that should you ever want to get that content out of that widget, you either have to use it as a global widget, but often you do have to actually sort of have the content in there and then go to the widget in the Elementor interface and then pull it out bit by bit, the rating, the actual review, the name, and it can be a very arduous task. It's really, really boring. And so it's another real reason why you really want to have all of the information, all of the content in custom post types or in post types, and then dynamically pull that into any sort of widget that you'd like to pull it into. So we're going to have a look at how to actually create this in a loop template. So the first thing we need to do is go to the theme builder in Elementor, and we want to create a loop item. So click on that and then add new, and then fling past all of this, and quite frustratingly, take it from me, you will sometimes forget to name them, and that's really quite frustrating. So go along to settings and call this, give it a name that means something to you. So testimonials loop main, something along those lines. Now that's cool. I don't want to actually save that, so just return back. Okay, so let's just quickly build as we would in Elementor. So I want to have something a little bit similar to this. So it's just going to be a white sort of a white container at this point. So give it a bit of height. I would like them to be quite tall, so something along those lines. Now, while I'm going to give it a background of white, I would like the opacity to be brought down just a little bit. That will probably look correct, although obviously I can't test that right now. Okay, so we have a few different elements that we want to bring in, and just occurred to me, we actually need to set the preview settings. So go along to the cog at the bottom left, go to preview settings, and now we need to find our testimonials, and we need to find one. So I think one was called Perfect Hair. Yeah, and apply and preview. Obviously, there's nothing there at the moment. Just to show you, I'll yank this up because I shouldn't share names of it, but this is an example of the sort of thing we can build. Now, this is what I built on a project that I'm working on currently, just pulling it together, and I've used a custom post type for this, and it has 2 images. So this is the featured image, this is an additional image. And then we've got a testimonial heading, rating, the name, and and the actual review. And of course, this is just a beautiful carousel, far beyond what you could do with a widget offered by an Elementor sort of essential add-ons or something. So this is the sort of thing we'll be looking to create. So right, bring that back down. Okay, so we have the container, and let's just sort of get to work. I will let you see this even though it takes up a bit of time. So first thing we want to do is heading. So bring that in, and let's go to dynamic tags, and we want to find the ACF field. And then once you've selected it, click on the cog, on the spanner, I'm sorry. And you can see that it's sort of separated out the different post types that we have, and then offered us the fields, which is really, really helpful. Now, I would like the testimonial headings. That's perfect. And I'm just going to brand it all up a little bit. And I don't really, this is a tutorial site. I don't have globals set up all nicely. So we'll do it like that and bring the size down a little bit. Okay, quite happy with that. Something that's occurring to me is I would like to have a little bit of a sort of a floating quote. So everything has to be within this container. So as frustrating as that is, I'm going to bring another one in and put that in there. And this is the one I actually want to color. Bring down the opacity. Cool. And then the top one, the main one, I want to remove that styling. Cool. Now, the reason for that is because I'd like to bring in an icon. Wonderful. I'm going to fling it over to the right, and yep. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? I want to bring a bit of a margin there, and then bring this up so that it appears as though it's moving out, but I need it to stay in the actual container, in the actual outside container. Okay, so the idea is that this would look, and I'll show you, we're going to have this quote icon just sort of floating, it appears. Okay, maybe that would look better white, but I'm not going to fuss with it now. Okay, bring it down the opacity. Cool. I think actually I want to, yeah, do I want to remove that? Yeah. Bring it like that, and I'm fussing in a way that I shouldn't right now. There we go. Okay. I'm going to fling that to the right. Make sure it's all inside. Yep. Happy with that. Okay. Right. So perfect makeup and hair. We've got the title there. Now we want to bring in a text editor. And so bring that in, and we don't want lorem ipsum. We would like our actual review. So go along to ACF field, go along to the key, and then we've got the review here. And I want it to be sort of a bit more dainty. Yep, that will do at this point. Okay, I'm quite okay with that. Now I would like to bring in another container and fling all of these across. I'm going to bring in 2 headings. So bring that one in, and this is going to be the don't know what I'm doing there. The customer name. Jenny is going to be your name. We're going to have another light color, just sort of make it look a bit nicer. Bit too small. Something along those lines. Take that container. I think I've already done all of that, so we'll just duplicate that. Select this one. Oh no, I'm sorry. Delete that. I would like a rating. Okay, because we brought in a rating, didn't we? So bring that into this container, and sometimes it's a bit snappy with Elementor, so it pays to use the actual navigator here. Make sure you've got the rating selected, and we want to go rating, dynamic tags, ACF number field, and you see that we've got that here. Okay, in this instance that was 5. Of course you wouldn't handpick reviews that aren't 5 for your website. Let's bring the color in, we'll brand it up, and we'll have white, but actually we'll just get rid of those that we don't need to advertise what isn't there. Okay, so that's pretty cool. So if we grab an image and dynamically choose the featured image, that's cool. I'm quite liking that. That's great. Just to let you know, the reason why I'm using headings and then using dynamic tags and not using stuff like post titles, or the reason why I've chosen this image and then dynamically brought in the featured image as opposed to just using the featured image, is that sometimes you get an issue where it just doesn't show up. It's one of those Elementor quirks, and the way to get over that is just use an image and connect it up to the featured image. Same with headings, it just glitches, and that's just one of those things. Okay, last thing, I'm just going to bring in a quick but subtle box shadow. I think that's good. I think we've done everything. Cool. Perhaps what I would do really is bring this height down a little bit. Something like 200 might be okay. It wouldn't show loads, but it would give an idea of the review. Let's put 220. Nope, 240. Okay, I think that would generally show enough. Okay, cool. So what we want to do is publish this. And that looks like a really lovely review loop template, I think. So let's pop along to the front page, and what we want to do is add this to this section here. Okay, so edit with Elementor. Okay, wonderful. I aged a year waiting for that interface to load up, but right, here we go. So we would like to make this look a bit better. Okay, so we'll duplicate this so that we're not destroying a section, and we're going to just remove that, and what we want to do is bring in a loop builder. I'm feeling like I've forgotten something, and so we'll find out in a minute. Okay, so we have the, I'm going to close that for a second. We have the Loop Carousel, we have posts, and what we need to do is actually choose our template, which I think was called Testimonials. Wonderful, okay. Now, what it's doing right now is it's actually pulling in blog posts and splatting some stuff there. So we need to go to the query and posts and then find testimonials. That's cool. I really quite like that. So we see a... Actually, I really quite like what I've accidentally done there. So I've applied a shadow to the to this, and I think that if I made that white or something, that's actually quite nice. The name isn't really so important. This is the important information, and then this looks quite glassy and nice. So go me, very clever. So anyway, what we can do is play around with these settings as we would with anything else. So if we go to settings, I don't really need to do that while we're just having a look at all of this. So let's go along to the front of the site and scroll on down. Now this is the original one that we had with some static reviews perhaps, and then we nip down here and we've now got this beautiful testimonial carousel. Now we can play with the settings and ensure that it's all equal height. The first thing I would do is go to the template and actually create, place this text editor into a higher container that would have the maximum in it, and it would need to do that in order to get the equal text, the equal height. But this is cool. I'm liking it. That's really quite nice. Just in case that sort of weird look is grating on you, I will change this to be white, and I will undo that one. Okay, and then I will add in a container, another container. Look at that. And what we'll do is add that in and give that one a minimum height, something a bit like that, which we know would accommodate most of the reviews. Just so that you can have a look at this. If you feel like it's not satisfying your OCD enough, this is a bit more pleasing to your eye, and that actually does look better, doesn't it? So again, we've got this beautiful carousel, and all of that dynamic content being brought in there. But it doesn't end there. I know that this video has gone on a long time, but I need to show you one of the fantastic benefits of having all of the content in this custom post type. See, now if we decide that it would be beneficial to have something like a reviews widget just on the bottom right hand side of the hero section, just to give that immediate social proof, we don't have to duplicate a widget that we've used for testimonials and then painstakingly sort of like change out of the template of that. We actually can just create another loop template, and it's very, very simple to do. So we have this one open already, so pop along to the theme builder. Go along to loop item, add new. All we want really on this one is this bit here. So we would like to copy that in, paste, that's done. We will have this also, so let's sling that in there. I need a preview, obviously. Whoopsie. Testimonials, perfect. And then last of all, I'm just going to use the star rating just to make this point. I would like that to be the whole thing in its entirety. It just says everything that needs to be said. Anything else? Nope, that is good. Okay, cool. So now let's pop along to our edit page, and what I want to do is grab another loop builder, loop carousel, sorry, and we're going to sling that down there. Sorry, yes, we want posts. I didn't name it, so it's going to be one of these. Oh, it must be the last one. Ugh, silly me. And then let's pop along to the query. Okay, so I'm just realizing that this quote here is going to be poking out, so that's not good. So I need to quickly reset this position because I haven't made another and just make it very subtle in color, so it shouldn't interfere with anything. Obviously you can get all focused on your designs later on, but what we've got here are the essential elements. And so if we pop along here and we want to get another loop builder, a loop carousel, sling it down there, and what do we want? Post types, and I didn't name it, so it's called something Elementor, must be the last one. And look at that, we've got this little sort of review ticker. Let's have a look at the query, choose our testimonials, and what we should end up with is just very quick, typical little sort of like headlines with quick headline reviews. Now we know that they're reviews because of the quotes. What we want to do with this is go to layout, number of slides 6, that's fine, but we only want to show 1, and we want the width to be something like 30%, and then we want to fling it over to the right. And the effect that this has is, when we refresh the page, is that we have our beautiful hero section, and then just almost without sort of noticing it, we've just got this beautiful review ticker bopping along there. And again, this is just something that we can really make loads of use of. It's so flexible in what you want to do. Again, if we just change this somewhere else on the site, we think that it would be nice to have 3 reviews ticking along. We would like it to look like this. And suddenly we've got, we might want to increase the space between them here. But again, that's wonderful. Okay, and so another benefit of this, again, is that we are really managing content in the most efficient way. Because now to add a new testimonial, we don't need to go into the page builder, open up Elementor interface, which will cost us half a day, and then edit a global widget or edit 10 widgets that need a new piece of content. All we need to do is pop along to testimonials, add new, fill out the fields, and it will dynamically populate to wherever we want it to go. Okay, the last thing I'm going to show you, because it does have to be done, is that we can use this template for an entire testimonials page. Okay, so first thing we want to do is get rid of that annoying title, and we want to center it up and pretty it up. Right, now simply all we need to do is look for a loop grid, swing that in there. I think this one I did actually name, so testimonials loop. Now we would like 3 columns and items. Yep, that's cool. Masonry, we'll see what it looks like. Query, let's actually find our testimonials. So source is testimonials. And look at that, absolutely fantastic. If we were to click on the masonry option, it should link us up. So the differing height doesn't really matter. But then we would want to go on to style, and gap between columns is, I'm happy with it like that. But then maybe something along those lines. Okay, so let's update that. Now click on testimonials, and this is what we have, all pulled dynamically. What a beautiful testimonials page that is. If you were to chuck on the taxonomy filter, and we're just going to fling that up there, loop grid 1, and select the taxonomy, testimonial categories, jiggle all of these numbers around. Okay, so click on update. Now if we go back to the actual page, we have the taxonomy filter in place. So 1 2 3 4 5 6, and click on the hair, and we can see that it's filtering out there. It doesn't look fantastic in terms of how it's filtering, but it doesn't have any whizzy effect, but it is there nonetheless. And so that's a really, really effective way to create a testimonials page. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I know that it was quite a long one, but we've gone start to finish completely in terms of creating a custom post type, creating the fields that we want on this custom post type, and then creating a whole bunch of templates that we can use across the site. The most important thing is that all of the information is properly, all of the content is properly managed in one location and then brought dynamically into the site using the power of a page builder's templating and loop templating. And so I would really encourage you to make the most of that and start using custom post types for things like testimonials, services, team profile pages, anything else you can think of which is actually an information type. It really does pay to put it into one location and then manage it effectively. Another real good bonus for this is that, one, you don't need lots of testimonial widgets anymore, so that's fewer plugins on your WordPress site. And perhaps the best one is that you don't actually need clients who want to update the site themselves to go into the Elementor, in this case Elementor interface and editor, where they will get tempted to move things, change sizes, change design just while they're changing a few testimonials. They just have to stick to the WordPress dashboard, fill out some fields, and it dynamically populates into the website. So it gives you a bit more control over the design of the site while not giving them too much control, but they can still edit their own content. I say that with a wince because I've lost portfolio item websites because clients got into the editor, and it's just, I can't have my name on that. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. I will create some more custom post type videos so that you can see other ways to use them, but I would love to see some of your own creations and your own testimonial carousels and how you would implement this. Okay, thank you very much. Bye bye.